GAC Sports Network welcomes you to the following presentation of the Great American Conference.
The rain has gone away for the day. The sun has come out, and it is absolutely beautiful sight here in Bentonville, Arkansas. We're at the Tiger Athletic Complex, Bentonville High School, and the Great American Conference softball tournament continues here in 2025. Two semifinal games are on the docket today, and we get things rolling in game one of our day, game 5 for the weekend, a matchup of two nationally ranked teams. The top seed, Southern Arkansas, the 4 seed, Harding, and these two teams met over the course of this regular season. It was very one-sided when it happened. Southern Arkansas and Harding both in the top 15 at the time, but the collision course definitely went to the way of the Mule Riders, coming away with a sweep when those two teams met. But you know what? There's a lot more on the line today. A trip to the NCAA tournament possibly on the line for at least one of these teams with the outcome of this game. Good afternoon. I'm Joey McWilliams along with Alyssa Orange and Sierra Clark here on site at Bentonville High School, the Tiger Athletic Complex. And Alyssa, we saw 4 great games yesterday. Some got away a little bit early. Higher seeds won all 4 matchups. These two teams came away and showed a little bit of dominance yesterday.
They did. Both teams putting up 9 runs yesterday in their win to advance to today. I don't know if we're going to see that many runs today with the pitchers we have on the mound. And I think both of these teams just excited to get another opportunity to play each other. For Harding, maybe a little payback on their side of things. For SAU, they just want to take care of business.
And Harding got things going. The big hit of the day came from Emma Curry, a grand slam to really blow things open. The 4-5 matchup against Southeastern Oklahoma, and there's another double. And with that double, 1 run scores, 2 runs score. Kaya Lee in for the game-winning score. It was a run rule effect there, and Harding came away with that big win over Southeastern.
When you look at the players who made some impact, I could have gone with Kaya Lee. She was 4 for 4 yesterday, but I had to go with Emma Curry. Her first career grand slam yesterday to make it 7-1 in favor of Harding to help them get that win yesterday afternoon. Look for her bat there in the middle of the lineup to come alive again today.
Southern Arkansas, now the number 12 team in the country. They're the top seed in the Great American Conference. And with a pitcher like Brenton Rogers in the circle, no doubt about it, of the 13 opportunities to win Pitcher of the Week this year, Brenton Rogers took home 10 of those weekly awards. The bats were there as well, and you mentioned 9 runs on the board. They took care of business against the number 8 seed in Henderson State yesterday, including a couple of long balls that left the park. A great day for Southern Arkansas.
It was big for Brenton Rogers to have that offense behind her, but things start and end with her in the circle. She had 3 shutout innings to start the game. Got a little frustrated towards the middle of that game, a little bit more of a smaller strike zone for her. She was trying to paint some of the corners and not getting that call, but we talked to head coach Jason Anderson. He said, it wasn't her best game, but she's still okay. She's feeling good, and she's excited to come out here and face Harding again. She had 2 shutouts against them earlier in the season. She wants to likely try to do it again.
Coach Anderson, the phrase that he used, a tight zone, and that's what happens at this time of year. That zone gets to be a little bit more compact from level to level and week to week as you go along. The Harding Lady Bisons and the Southern Arkansas Mule Riders, that's what's on tap in game number 1 of this semifinal Friday. Stick around. We'll be right back with that broadcast here on the GAC Sports Network.
If you have the talent and dedication to succeed in school and in sports, we'll provide the opportunity.
Running outdoors, you got to take what nature gives you. We'd like to say we run when they don't. So we want to give you products to be able to run when you don't think you should run, when it's pouring rain outside, it's snowing. We're going to have products for you to get out there. You don't get better sitting on your butt not training. You got to get out there and run.
At Under Armour, it's always about premium textiles. They need to perform, they need to be the best. The merging of hybrid textiles with naturals and new seaming and bonding and super sleek, modern, fast, futuristic designs, that's where we are really going to turn it up a notch. If you look good and you feel good, you're going to perform better.
So how do you make it? How do you overcome the odds? There's Natasha's way. Be shy, focus on yourself, till they focus on you. Or Juana's way.
Why be one champ when I want to be two?
Be like Yusra. Let nothing
Syrian refugee pulls boat to safety.
destroy your dreams.
Screw fate.
Or maybe you beat doubt one step at a time, like Johnny. What about Zoe? Never satisfied. Not with trophies or stunts. Then there's Dennis. Work with what you got to get what you don't. Or you could be like me. Dream of pro football, get hurt, dream over. Find yourself with just $7 in your pocket. So how did I get here? By being the hardest worker in the room. How are you gonna get here?
Harding will be batting first this afternoon, the number 4 seed taking on the top seed in Southern Arkansas. And Sierra Clark has a word about Harding as we get ready to go.
Yeah, Harding is coming off of a run rule win over Southeastern. And head coach Ashley Reeves from Harding told me that her team needed that win because they've just had an up and down season. And that run rule victory really pulled them out of that slump. And they're hoping to continue that momentum today against Southern Arkansas.
Thank you, Sierra. It did make a big difference for this Harding team. One of the things that Coach Ashley Reeves, now in her 4th season with the Lady Bisons, when she was speaking with Alyssa and me a little bit earlier, was that they needed to get the offense going, trying to get something happen. The slap by Kaya Lee right off the bat drifts into left field, and Reagan Dillon is there to make that catch. Kaya Lee, as you may have seen in the starting lineup there, she's opening things up for the Lady Bisons, followed by Zoe Neal, Inline Pearson, Jaden Booth, Emma Curry, Brooklyn Goebel, Ailey Willis, Brooke Johnson, and Macy Ham. Starting lineup for Harding. Zoe Neal batting second.
Sierra made a good point there when talking about the offense. The last time they faced SAU, they were shut out in all 3 of those games. And to just see the bat hit the ball yesterday and to put 9 runs on the board, just giving them a lot more confidence as they head into this game.
Well, yesterday, the out of choice for, it seemed like every team, was to fly out to left field. And so far, Reagan Dillon has been there to have 2 put out to get things going here in the top of the 1st inning.
I'm going to be honest, Joey. I almost parked over in left field, and then I backed out, and I moved my car for that exact reason.
It's a wise decision. Batting third here, Emmeline Pearson, the designated player today. Have you ever been to a game in Tiger Athletic Complex?
First time.
Okay.
Over here.
Then you were wise to begin with, because there have been a windshield or 2 that have suffered a fate that they didn't want to, parking in the wrong place. Pearson, hard cut, swing to miss there. It's a strike. 1-1 now the count. 2 down here, top of the 1st. Emmeline Pearson, a 5'7" freshman from Keller, Texas, on the 2025 All-GAC 2nd team. Popped up, and that one's not going to be playable. As a matter of fact, you may have heard that. It hit on the roof of the press box here. Thankful for a very solid roof here. The bleachers directly behind home plate. The folks in the stands here have many opportunities to catch some foul balls. swing and a miss, and Brinson Rogers gets her first strikeout of the afternoon. 3 up, 3 down, nobody left on, and we'll be back at the bottom of the first inning as the Mule Riders come to bat.
It's your moment. It's your moment.
It's your moment.
At East Central University, we educate and empower students to transform the world. We provide an exceptional hands-on learning experience with professors who really go that extra mile. East Central University encourages students to become who they are meant to be while making lasting memories. East Central University, welcome home.
It was 3 up, 3 down for Harding. Mule Riders would like to maybe take a different look there. Reagan Dillon leading off for the Mule Riders along with Stoddard and Rubio. Dillon out, we've already called her name in left field. Stoddard is the catcher today, and America Rubio playing in center field. Adams the right fielder today as well. For Harding, it'll be Brooklyn Goebel in the circle to kick things off today. Goebel comes in now with a record of 16-5, 2.14 ERA. That's good enough for third in the GAC. Mule Riders will see Dillon lead off. Reagan Dillon, the left fielder. 5'7" junior from Bryant and on the all GAC first team in 2025. In the field behind Brooklyn Goebel. In left field, Lee, Ham. In center field, Booth in right. Neal's at first, Curry's at second, Willis at short, and Boswell at third. Johnson is catching today for Goebel.
When you look at this Southern Arkansas offense, just the success they had yesterday in the batter's box, every player recorded at least a hit yesterday, and so they're trying to keep that momentum going here against Goebel, who had a pretty good, successful day on her end as well.
1-2 now the count. As Dillon puts that to right field, Booth is going back and will not make the grab at the warning track. In and out of her glove. She can't hang on to it, and Dillon stands up at second base.
That's a tough break there for Booth out in right field, and I'm not sure if there's not really much sun, so I don't know if you can point at the sun, but a bad break for her, a good break for Reagan Dillon there, who's now standing on second base.
And they officially give that as an E9, so not a hit to get started for Dillon. She'll take it, though, as she stands up there on 2 and now in scoring position. Sophia Stoddard now batting. Stoddard the catcher. Hard swing and a miss there. Stoddard a 5'5" grad student from Bountiful, Utah. And on the all GAC second team here in 2025. Another solid cut at that, 0-2 the count. Stoddard against Henderson State yesterday went 2 for 4 and had a run. Southern Arkansas as a team collectively very good. As a matter of fact, all 9 of the starting lineup had at least 1 hit against Henderson State yesterday. Very effective and efficient day. Here's the 1-2 to Stoddard. Swing and a miss, and she will sit down. 4 pitches, 3 strikes, and now 1 out. There's your field for Harding. Again, Lee, Ham, Booth in the outfield, Neal, Curry, Willis, and Boswell in the infield. America Rubio batting for Southern Arkansas. Rubio, 5'9", redshirt junior from El Paso, Texas. D1 transfer from Texas A&M Commerce, now known as East Texas A&M University. They're the Lions, and actually spent a stop at Vernon College as well. This year and last year, though, at Southern Arkansas, and a member of the All-GAC team. Honorable mention here in 2025. You're going to hear a lot of that listed from both of these teams today. That hits solidly to left field. Lee goes back, steps up, makes the grab at the warning track. Dillon has nowhere to go as that ball was hit to the left side of the field. Didn't want to take the chance and try to get past the arm of Lee, where she makes another great grab. 2 down now, and Dillon remains at second. That brings up Kelsey Adams. Adams, a 5'7" junior from Van Alstyne, Texas, a transfer from the University of Memphis, where she spent a couple of years and saw a lot of action with the D1 program. It's her final year, or her first year, excuse me, with Southern Arkansas.
We've seen SAU now take 2 deep here, 1 to right, 1 to left. We saw her get a hold of one yesterday, hit it into that left center gap. We'll see if she can find a hole here in this outfield.
Not going to happen there. 2 strikes now, as these 2 pitchers have been dealing pretty well here in the first inning. And sometimes it takes a trip through the lineup to be able to get comfortable with the pitcher for the day. May have seen her already in the season, but just to find that place during the day, and for Adams, it hasn't happened just yet. 2 strikeouts and 3 batters for Brooklyn Goebel, 1, 2, and 3 after Reagan Dillon reaches on an error. So no hits, no runs, 1 left on base, 1 complete here in Bentonville. No score, GAC tournament.
At East Central University, we educate and empower students to transform the world. We provide an exceptional hands-on learning experience with professors who really go that extra mile. East Central University encourages students to become who they are meant to be while making lasting memories. East Central University, welcome home.
Beautiful, beautiful day. Didn't look like that a little bit earlier today. Glad the rain went away, and the Southern Arkansas Mule Riders, the defense behind Brinson Rogers, has Dillon, Rubio, and Adams in the outfield. Huey, Owens, Clausen, and Lear in the infield. Stoddard's catching for Rogers. And, you know, Alyssa, when you have a pitcher like Brinson Rogers out there, and of course like Goebel as well, I mean, things happen so quickly, especially when Harding decides to come out and say, hey, listen, we're going to swing at that first pitch.
Yeah, and well, that's what Coach told us right away. Their game plan today was attack that first pitch strike, so we knew they were going to be aggressive. They weren't going to let Brinson Rogers try to get ahead of them in the count, but she only threw 8 pitches, to your point. We didn't have a whole lot of time to give a shout-out to the defense.
So that's who's backing up Rogers, and that is a group that has done very well doing that all season long. Jaden Booth now batting for Harding, excuse me. Booth, the right fielder for today's contest for the Lady Bisons. Booth, a 5'5" freshman from Huntington Beach, California. That one outside. Throw it down to Sierra Clark, as it is a beautiful day, Sierra.
Yeah, and Brinson Rogers has had quite the journey. She was at Louisiana Lafayette at one point and then was in junior college. And she told me before the game that she is thankful God brought her to Arkansas. She never thought she'd leave the state of Georgia, which she's originally from, and she's so happy to be at Southern Arkansas, and she loves her teammates. They're like the best of friends as well.
Thank you, Sierra. Well, Jaden Booth got a hold of a pitch from Brinson Rogers, which doesn't happen all the time, and actually happened with very, very much scarcity the last time these two teams faced. She stands up at second base, and she does it by way of a double. No question on the error there. There was none. Tough to chase down in center field. Once Rubio gets back there, Booth was already at second base. So a solid hit for Harding to get things going here in the second inning. And Booth will take third base.
Taking advantage now here with Harding trying to punch in that first run of the game with a leadoff player right here at third. You've got no outs, and we'll see if they still kind of square up for this bunt. I think right now you see if you can poke one out of the infield and drive that run home.
Emma Curry, as we mentioned yesterday, had a grand slam. Runner on third with no one out. She's going to swing at this now. I think you do show that bunt there when Booth is still at second, but at this point, try to put something out of the infield and see if you can get a run to score. When these two teams played during the regular season, Southern Arkansas won 4-0, 2-0, 4-0, and started a downward spiral for the Lady Bison's offense through a stretch in the season. Now they've since righted the ship, but it was a difficult time for Harding during and following that series. So the first run that Harding can get on the board today is going to be monumental. Swing and a miss, gets past the catcher. Booth is coming in, and she is in for the score. The throw to first, out. So Emma Curry, she's out at first. You saw her, she doesn't care. She's happy. Booth comes in for the score. The swing and the miss, catcher drops the strike, and here comes Booth sliding in, and the Lady Bisons are on top, 1-0 in the top of the second.
Such heads-up base running there, first and foremost. But again, you're going to take runs however you can get them against SAU. So whether it's a pass ball like that or if it had happened to have been an infield single, you got to run on the board, and that's all that matters. And Emma Curry knew exactly that after she was out at first base.
Brooklyn Goebel now batting for Harding, the 5'6" redshirt freshman from Tryon, Oklahoma. Swing and the miss. And Goebel redshirted at Oklahoma Baptist, but didn't see any time there, and then transferred to Harding. She's a multimedia journalism major. I like that.
I think we can both get behind that.
That's exactly right. 2025 GAC Freshman of the Year pops that one up. It will not be playable. And let's slow down and say that again. Not only on the All-GAC team, first team, but she is the Freshman of the Year, and she's 16-5 in the circle. Yesterday she went 1 for 3 at the plate, had 1 strikeout. Solid enough bat for Coach Reeves that she has her in the lineup, not just pitching and letting someone else come in. They want to see her bat as well.
Really unique for her, but when Coach Reeves told us that she was going to put Brooklyn back in the circle, an exciting moment to be able to see her go against Brinson Rogers here. And you know, as a freshman and what Brinson Rogers has been able to do her senior year, this battle in the circle is going to be one that unfolds the next couple of hours. Should be a fun one.
This is a lot of experience that is also good for Goebel, I believe, too. As a freshman coming in, getting to face off against someone like that, win or lose for Harding today, this is going to be something that they can use in the future. And she just keeps battling away at this at-bat. Not often that you get the pitch and have it come back to you off the backstop like that. Rogers threw the ball and caught it herself.
It's like having one of those take-back screens that you
One
pitch
hop
into.
to third, exactly. The throw from Lear to Huey, it is in time. 5-3, and we have recorded out number 2 here in the second inning. Bailey Willis coming up to bat for Harding. Willis, a 5'8" junior from Jonesboro, Arkansas. Played her high school ball at West Side. Went to college first at Jefferson College in Hillsboro, Missouri. And then transferred to Southern Arkansas yesterday 0 for 2 against Southeastern. Did have a sacrifice fly and an RBI. No one on now, but 1 run scored for Harding here in the second inning. Willis lightly popped, goes foul, and Lear's there to make the grab just in front of the dugout. But 1 run scores for Harding, 1 hit. That was a double, no one left on base. And midway through the second, the Lady Bisons are on top by a run. There's Goebel in the circle. Had an opportunity at the plate just a moment ago, ground out. So she'd like to see maybe if she can force a little bit of that action from the girls in blue and gold.
A successful inning for her to start this game. See if she can pick it back up. 2 strikeouts to start it off, and that's got to feel good from a confidence standpoint for the freshman when you're facing this really dynamic SAU offense.
Cummings, Clausen, and Huey up first here in the bottom of the second inning. Haley Cummings swings on the first pitch, and that will go foul. Cummings yesterday hit her first home run of the season. 1 for 3 on the day. That home run, 3-run variety. 3 RBI to go with it. 5'10" redshirt sophomore from Sewanee, Georgia. Played her high school ball at North Gwinnett. She was a Bulldog there. Went to North Georgia for a moment and then transferred to Southern Arkansas. That one hops its way home. 2-1 now the count. Harding coming in today with 39 victories on the season. 39-15, 21-12 in GAC play. The Southern Arkansas Mule Riders 40-8. 28-4 overall in league play as that one is fouled back. Count at 2-2. Talked about the fact that these 2 teams met during the regular season. Midpoint of the season, both ranked. Harding, with its highest ranking of the year at that point, was up to number 10. And after Southern Arkansas earned victories of 4-0, 2-0, and 4-0, it became difficult for the Lady Bisons for a little bit of a stretch. Princeton Rogers won in game 1 and again in game 3, picked up a couple of victories against the Lady Bisons. Here's the full count. Payoff pitch is fouled back again for Cummings. Cassie Rhodes got the other win in the circle for Southern Arkansas in that series. But as Coach Anderson says, it was a team effort all the way around. He also said that, we may have caught a couple of breaks in there as Cummings continues to battle through this at bat. And Alyssa, he didn't quite go full Lou Holtz on us when he was talking about this, but he did come close. Well, the Harding hit some balls, just went right back to our players, and we don't take away anything from Harding, and rightfully so. I mean, because it is a very good team, but he didn't say, hey, listen, we were dominant. Did she swing? They say she did. Went around. So Cummings will take a seat. That's out number 1 with the strikeout. And on the day, that is the 3rd K registered for Brooklyn Goebel. Savannah Clausen now stepping up to the plate for Southern Arkansas. But to that point, I mean, he didn't say, no, we were dominant. He said it was a tough team, it was a tough matchup. We just, we were fortunate to get those 3 wins. But they did look dominant in that, at least on paper.
He definitely wanted to point out that the paper doesn't tell the story and that the stat sheet doesn't tell the story. And they had hard-hit balls. It's not like they were, not making any contact and they were throwing them off offensively. They were just balls that got hit straight to people, and there was nothing they could do with the way that it was going. But not taking anything away from Harding. They know that they're a really good offense over there, and they've got a strong pitcher in Goebel in the circle. And so he was very much like, we got to take care of business. We have to focus on ourselves, and we can't really just rely on the fact that we swept them the way that we did in shutout fashion during the regular season.
Savannah Clausen, another member of the All-GAC team, honorable mention in 2025. She was the Player of the Week back on April 14th. Clausen, a 5'11" senior from Arvada, Colorado. Transferred to Southern Arkansas from Cal State Bakersfield. She was a road runner. Signed her NLI to play there. As that one is popped up, it's trying to find a gap in right field. Can't do it because Curry comes over to make the grab. Emma Curry. Big on offense yesterday, equally so on defense, and makes a nice move there. There's for the highlight package if you're an Emma Curry fan.
Running there to her back glove side. A great angle she took to that ball to call off the right fielder there to make that catch. But big smile on her face after that one, and she'll take it. She had a great defensive game yesterday along with that grand slam.
Jenna Huey now batting for Southern Arkansas. And Sierra, tell us a little bit more about this.
Yeah, Harding head coach Ashley Reeves was telling her outfield, know your wind. It's a pretty windy day out here, and you never know which way the wind could push those balls. So her outfield definitely seems to be very aware of what's going on out here.
Well, and I think that's why when you look at what Emma Curry did there, when you look at where everyone is playing, you have Kaya Lee playing pretty close to the warning track, as is Dylan out there, or Jaden Booth out there in right field. And so for Emma to be able to make that ground up, really helping her off her outfield, who's having to play a little bit deeper than probably normal.
Swing and a miss there in back-to-back innings for Goebel, in which she has set down 2 batters by way of strikeout. 4 Ks on the resume for Goebel right now. No hits, no runs, no one left on base. 2 complete, and the Lady Bisons are on top.
What does it mean to be a Ranger? It means smaller class sizes, so you're seen and heard. It means graduating debt-free, like over half of our students. It means getting help when you need it through financial aid and scholarships, like more than 80% of our students. To be a Ranger, you're rowdy with excitement. To be a Ranger, you care about your education. To be a Ranger, you saddle up to a challenge and ride to success. Rowdy lives here. Rangers live here. Northwestern. Success lives here.
SWASU has been saying that the focus is you for 20 years. Now that I'm here, I know my voice matters.
It's a true home away from home where the professors really do put the focus on me and my dreams.
At SWASU, it feels like they are cheering me on with so many ways to get involved, like social clubs,
sports, quality academics, and great people who care about your success. For real, the focus is on you. Open the door to your future at SWASU. Go Dogs!
I know, the food.
Lady Bisons with a run on the board. Again, that has to feel good. They didn't get any against the Mule Riders during the regular season, and I don't want to belabor that point. It's just such an aberration that it stands out to me. So to get that first run, you know that the Lady Bisons have to be feeling good. Johnson, Ham, and Lee, those are the 3 to get things going. And Brooke Johnson nearly finds the gap in center field. Not going to happen. America Rubio sliding in over the logo to make the grab in center field. Check a look at this again. She just avoided the logo, got around it.
And that's one of the hardest catches to make as an outfielder when you're falling forward. Diving side to side, much more natural in a running position. But when you're having to force your body forward like that and make the catch, great body control by her.
One hop, but Lear collects the ball on the other side of the foul line. So that is a foul. The infield is in very, very much right now. Macy Ham batting for Harding. They are not going to give her any room with
This
which
is
to
where
work.
the scouting report comes in, but we were talking to Coach Reeves, and we were talking specifically about Kyle Lee and how successful of a day she had yesterday, 4 for 4, but she gave a credit to all her slappers. She said, we need to get them on base, and their speed helps us so much on the base pass, and they don't get a lot of credit sometimes, the slappers, but if they can get on base, they can be destructive out there. They just got to get on first.
Was that how you played? Was that your MO?
I was not a slapper,
okay.
No.
Ham, a 5'2" senior from Arrington, Tennessee, and fouls that one back.
A lot of respect for the slappers.
Okay, absolutely.
I was a pull hitter.
Okay.
When we talk about all the balls that would go to left field, that would be me. I would be able to find that left fielder all the time.
So she takes a seat, and Kaya Lee steps in, 2 down.
Defense remains pinched in here with Kyle Lee at the plate. Yesterday, she poked that one right over the shortstop's head, trying to maybe do that again.
Lee's day was really impressive, and we talked about the speed of the base running, but she got there, and to be able to not only go 4 for 4, but to be able to score 3 runs, including the game winner yesterday, credit to her skill on the base path. But again, they look in, and she's trying to find a gap, and
that is a fair ball.
Happen. That's right. She does find the gap.
That is a fair ball.
They were saying it was, let's look. No, we see the call from the official there. Ump says no, it goes foul. And it does.
Okay.
Good call by the third base ump.
He's slightly closer to that line than we are. It looked it. I was in Coach Reeves' camp for a little bit there. I thought it was fair.
Lee comes in, though, hitting very well, and that one will find a gap. She'll reach first base easily as it gets into shallow center, and Rubio's there to put a stop to it. So 1 for 2 on the day for Kaya Lee. Trying to get a 2-out rally here.
That's why it's so hard sometimes to play defense against slappers, because if you play like you normally play defensively, they could drop the ball right there and be so fast down the line they're safe. Or if you pinch in the way you did, they put it right past you. And so it is a tough, tough defensive strategy to decide which way you want to go there.
Neal pops that over deep, short area, and Clausen is there to make the grab. So Kylie's 2-out hit. She's going to remain stranded there, left on base. 1 hit, 1 left on. Nobody scores. And we are coming back up with Southern Arkansas in just a moment.
Everyone tells you to think about the future, but we know there's growth in the journey. At ATU, we value this moment because here, nature becomes your classroom. So breathe it in. You've got this. Right here, right where you are. Focus on the now, because our focus is on your success.
One of the fastest growing universities in the state and the region, Southeastern Oklahoma State University, has classes for bachelor's, master's, and certificate programs. Over 45 degree programs are available with in-person, online, and hybrid options. With a legacy of excellence dating back to 1909, our dedicated faculty and staff are here to make your legacy a great one. Your future starts here at Texoma's University.
Second game today, we'll see a matchup with Oklahoma Baptist, the number 2 seed, and the number 3 seed, Southern Nazarene. Both those teams going to get to watch some free softball before they go out. Find out who they may have an opportunity to play on Saturday. Owens, Lear, and Dillon open things up here in the bottom of the 3rd. Peyton Owens for Southern Arkansas, a 5'7" junior from Tupelo, Oklahoma. Yesterday went 1 for 4 against Henderson State. Six straight batters have been retired by Brooklyn Goebel, including 4 by way of strikeout.
And remember, that double by SAU earlier in the game ruled an error, so she hasn't given up any hits either. Just really steady in the circle right now, trying to keep it going here in the bottom of the 3rd.
I think if you're Goebel, you're exactly where you want to be right now. She's dealing pretty well. You don't want to get comfortable with all the strikeouts. You know that not all these Southern Arkansas batters are going to strike out. But as she's making her way through the lineup the first time, she's been very successful.
She has, and she also knows too, she's about to hit the top of the order once more, and just like she needs to make adjustments, SAU's offense is making adjustments after seeing her for the first time, and so we'll see how she does the second time around. Great catch there by the right fielder. With this lineup, that's going to be the most telling part of this game, the adjustment she makes in the circle.
Absolutely. Booth coming in and making the grab in shallow right, called off Curry, and Curry had already made one fantastic grab. I'm not sure that she could have gotten to that one, and Booth made the right move to call her off. So 1 down now as Lear comes to bat. Cassidy Lear, a 5'7" senior from Greenbrier, Arkansas. Right back to Goebel, deflects it, then picks it up and makes the throw to first. Nice job, little self-defense there to keep from hitting her, and the home plate ump's going to come out and check on her, make sure she's all right. Right back, nice job.
You know, that glove sometimes used also as a shield. Understandable, but really good composure for her to gather that ball and get the throw to first base in time.
Back to Reagan Dillon, top of the order now, once again for Southern Arkansas. 8 straight batters have been retired now, following that error on the opening at bat from Dillon, who wound up on second base, and she was stranded there. Remember the all-tournament team last year and the year before that, as Dillon is a member of the all-GAC first team this year during the regular season. Dillon trying to get past third base. The throw 5-3 is not going to happen, and Dillon will reach second once again. Now, we'll see what the official ruling is on this. They do give her the hit, though, and rightfully so. I would have been uncomfortable if they hadn't given her the single on that. She reaches second on a throwing error.
And an unfortunate one, too, for Alexis Boswell, because that was such a great stop there at third base. Just couldn't really collect the throw. Got it off, I think, a little too rushed there. But don't want to take away from that defensive stop that she made.
Sophia Stoddard watches the first one through for a ball. 1-0 now the count was Dillon at second. Stoddard transferred to Southern Arkansas, hit a couple of D1 programs along the way. Southeast Louisiana in 24, Idaho State in 23. And prior to that, she was a member of the College of Southern Idaho Golden Eagles team in 21 and 22. So she's seen her share of college softball, and the grad student making her final stop in Magnolia here today in Bentonville. Her team trailing by a run, but has Dillon in scoring position, 2 down here in the bottom of the 3rd.
I know we've given so much attention to Brinson Rogers, and rightfully so, but yesterday Sophia Stoddard really impressed me. We talked about her going 2 for 4, but her hits came at timely times for this SAU offense. And when Coach Anderson talked about how important his offense was, I think Sophia was a shining star yesterday.
That one, the Harding faithful, maybe a little uncomfortable. Wanted another strike to be called. 2-2 the count now with 2 down. Another 2 on the board for Harding. Those 2 errors. And Dillon has reached second because of those. Stoddard fouls that one back. Southern Arkansas won 10 of 11 series this year. And during that stretch, swept 8 of them, 7 of them in a row. Matter of fact, the only series that Southern Arkansas didn't win wound up being just 2 games. Oklahoma Baptist at the end of the season won 2 of 3. They didn't play the final game due to weather, and really at that point in the year, they didn't need it. Everything had been decided. Regular season championship, 1, 2 seeds, all of that. And they just said it's a wash. We can do without this one. Let's go play some second season ball.
Also gave him another day's rest.
It did. Full count, 2 down. That one hit her. She'll take her base. So this time through the lineup, maybe a little bit of a different feel right now, as Dillon will remain on second as Stoddard was hit by the pitch.
And this is where, and as Coach Reeves goes out there to talk to her pitcher, this is where Brooklyn as a freshman we talked about this yesterday, mechanics, fundamentals. You're now seeing this lineup the second time through. They're much more familiar with you in this game, you with them. Just make a little bit of an adjustment, get a little bit, back into your routine. Don't get rattled. You've got 2 outs, so you just need 1 more out. Don't let the 2 runners on base intimidate you. Focus at the batter in front of you.
That's a very good point, too, because really it doesn't matter. If you have a one-on-one matchup, take care of that one-on-one matchup. You win that one, this inning or this half inning is done, and you get another opportunity at the plate. America Rubio coming to the plate now with runners at first and second. Rubio, a mule rider now. In high school, she was a Ram. Montwood High School in El Paso, Texas.
That was a good pitch there by Goebel.
And Rubio would like to maybe change things up from yesterday for sure. She has an opportunity to help out some of her teammates. She was 1 for 3 yesterday, made it on base 3 times, however, and was left on base 3 times. She didn't get a chance to score. She has an opportunity to bring around a couple of her teammates right now as the count is at 2-1 with 2 down. Two and two now. If you're just tuning in, you may be wondering, well, you know what? This game was supposed to start at 1 o'clock. You guys are just now in the 3rd inning. Yes, we started a little bit late today, if you didn't know that. Not following along as Rubio pops that one high, and it's not going to be playable. It's drifting out there toward where Alyssa was going to park.
Still glad I didn't.
And
I literally backed out and parked in the back of the parking lot. I didn't even want to risk it. As fun of a story it would have been on the broadcast to talk about my broken windshield out there in left field. Yeah. I thought better of it.
No, I'm glad for you that you did think better of it. That one just a bit outside. Count goes full now with runners at first and second and 2 outs. So of course, time delay too. If you're keeping up, Oklahoma Baptist and Southern Nazarene not set tentatively to start until 4:30 now. So we'll see how this one plays out. 3-2 the count, 2 down. Runners at first and second for America Rubio. Payoff pitch.
There you go, Brooklyn Goebel. That is what she needed to get out of that jam. Well executed by her, and an opportunity now for her offense to give her some more runs on the board.
No runs, just the single from Dillon. 2 left on base, 3 complete here, and the Lady Bisons own a 1-run advantage.
Before the house, before the office, the late nights and new bosses. Before the last hugs, the wins and the losses. Before building the team, before building yourself, the rise and grinds, all day, every days. Before the letter, before the dream, there was a kid who loved to play. If you have the talent and dedication to succeed in school and in sports, we'll provide the opportunity.
There's Brinson Rogers back in the circle, and she's given up a run, but nothing devastating, nothing that this Mule Rider defense can't contain. It'll be Pearson, Booth, and Curry. And I say that because just the one run seems like a lot. We were visiting with Coach Anderson yesterday. He was talking, or earlier today, talking about yesterday. You know, he had mentioned that Brinson gave up 3 runs, which is not a lot, but I think the way you said it was, but Brinson standards.
Brinson standards. And if you were listening to him talk, you'd have thought he was disappointed. He's like, no, we just know what she's capable of doing. There's a difference between Brinson Rogers standards and maybe other people's standards, and for her, unacceptable to give up 3 runs. We don't do that. And so looking to see her try to bounce back here today.
Pearson fouls that one back high and deep and near the actual concession stand. Not to be confused with the GAC Sports Network truck. Pearson, a marketing major who was on the All-GAC second team this year. Yesterday against Southeastern, struggled a bit at the plate. Went 0 for 3, struck out twice. Trying to write a different script today, and it's kind of tough to do against Brinson Rogers. Struck out in the first inning here. She's 0 for 1 on the day. Won't chase that one. Count goes to 2-2 now.
I also say, when I say a bounce back game for Brinson Rogers, I mean just under 3 runs.
Yes. That one fouled back as well. I think we'll keep the phrase Brinson standards. That works.
Yeah.
It is a beautiful day here, though. There was rain this morning when I woke up in the hotel, and it's coming down pretty well. Just watching the forecast and the radar, it looked like it was going to pass, and it did. That one's fouled back as well. Count still at 2-2. And these games were set to get underway at 1 and 3:30 today. Everything pushed back an hour to give the field just a little bit more time to dry. Of course, it's a turf field too. That does help with situations like this, but the weather is now fine. It's a very, very nice day. And the mid to high 60s outside, little cloud cover. That one outside, count will go full at 3-2. So just a beautiful day to come out here and watch softball, and I hope for all these players to play on a day like this today.
This is playing conditions for me. I mean, again, a little bit overcast like this where it doesn't feel like the sun is in anyone's face in either direction. And it's cool. It's not too hot. I'd suit up and go play out in this.
Is that like we learned on Miss Congeniality, kind of like April 25th? That's
the
perfect
hot,
date.
Not too cool. All you need is a light jacket.
Exactly. And there are a number of folks in the bleachers right now who have subscribed to that.
You
so
contemplated going to get your jacket out of the car.
Yes.
I don't think you did.
No, I'm going to brave it up here. I'm a trooper. Full count, and another one that is fouled back as Pearson has absolutely battled through this at bat. Well, yesterday Rogers faced a number of batters. I want to say that she faced maybe 34. That number seems high.
There's the 12th pitch of the at-bat.
Fall foul. Dillon chased it down, couldn't quite get there, and definitely with the effort to reach out to try to make the grab there. You know, that would have been good for Rogers as well if she's able to put an end to this at bat.
Yes.
I know that it's not going to put anybody on base or not, If it goes foul, you just have to take another swing at it. But it keeps Rogers in the circle just on this same one-on-one matchup.
I'm not going to say lucky number 13, but see if she can get out here on this 13th pitch of the at-bat.
Full count again. And this one hit into play, and it's going to find the gap. Dillon thinks better of the throw from left field. I have seen a left fielder make the throw on this turf before. Dillon's not going to do it, and Pearson will reach base with a hit. So 1 on now with nobody out here, and Sierra, Southern Arkansas, trailing by a run right now, but it's a tough team.
Yeah, Southern Arkansas has lots of support out here, including the women's tennis team. They're actually up in Bentonville for their GAC tournament. The Mule Riders tennis team won the outright regular season GAC championship, and actually they have players from all over the world on their team. There's actually not a single player from the United States that plays for them. They have players from Europe, Asia, all over. So I'm hoping they're having an awesome experience experiencing Northwest Arkansas.
Absolutely. Well, why not? This is a beautiful place. Can't imagine you not enjoying your experience in Northwest Arkansas.
As we talked yesterday, a lot to do up here in Bentonville and Rogers. You can head down to Fayetteville, where I call home, if you want to. A little funkier than Bentonville, but a lot of fun and good food, great places, great outdoors, great hikes.
Jaden Booth watches a strike there as the count goes 2-1. As I believe I'm seated next to the unofficial ambassador for Northwest Arkansas. Booth, the freshman, responsible for the only run on the board today, had a double in the second, and then on a pass ball took third, and on a pass ball went home. Shows bunt and tries to pull back a little bit. As the ball makes contact, it goes foul. Count goes to 2-2.
I'll take that ambassador title, thank you.
All right.
I did move here in 2013. Grew up on the East Coast, and there's a reason I haven't left.
I said unofficial. I don't know that I quite have the authority to make that statement as an official one, but we'll go with it. Here's 2-2, and Booth thinks about it. Did she go? No. First base says no, she did not. So 3-2 the count. And with a runner on first, Harding like to take advantage of this opportunity, and no one down. I mean, this is a great time in the game. Try to pick up one more run. Will 2 runs do it? Not going to find out right there, as swing and a miss, and Booth will take a seat. This is one of those contests you mentioned from the outset. It is unlikely we're going to see 9 runs put on the board by either of these teams.
Mm-hmm. I don't think so. Well, and again, I feel like I should knock on some wood after I said that. But that just is a credit to the pitchers that we've got in the circle, the defense already that we've seen. And, you know, that runs are premium. We've already noticed that 3 innings in. You just have to take advantage of those opportunities. That's why I love watching Brinson Rogers and her facial expressions when she is in the circle. After that strikeout, just game face, business-like. She knew how big of a strikeout that was to get that first out of the inning and continue things in that momentum, and she was kind of over it. You could tell she was ready for that batter to get out of the batter's box.
Move on to Emma Curry, senior. Yesterday, again, a big day for her. 1 for 3, 4 RBI. Swing and a miss there. Count goes to 1-2. Curry's one of those seniors who has played all 4 years at Harding. A senior from Washington, Oklahoma, former Washington Warrior. Honorable mention on this year's All-GAC team. She's been recognized All-GAC throughout her career. 2022 on the first team, 2023 on the second team. Hitting .298 coming into the weekend. That number will have gone up at least a tick. Might be at 300 now, or 299. Here's the 1-2. Runner going. The throw in time. It is just that. The tag is made. Fantastic throw from Stoddard. And
so well executed. I don't think you could have put it more perfectly there for your shortstop as we watch the replay here. That is exactly where you want the ball. So all she has to do is reach to the side. Even with that little hook slide, that Pearson tried to do. She got the tag before she slid past the base.
Absolutely.
And well executed there by Stoddard.
Back to Curry now with the count 2-2. She fouls that one back. It'll remain at 2-2 with 2 down now and no one on.
We talked about this a little bit yesterday in those games. I appreciate the aggressive base running as well. You know, you can't really get upset, even though she was called out there at second, not trying to be aggressive and test Stoddard's arm early in this game to see if you can put a runner in scoring position.
Another foul. 2s across the board once again. Harding yesterday had a mentality to play some small ball. We saw that in a couple of the games yesterday, specifically that Oklahoma Baptist Southwestern game. That as much as anyone. But Harding seemed to have that mentality. Swing and the miss there and not drop. They're going to go ahead and that's the out. So that will bring to an end this half of the inning for Harding. We are midway through this contest. 2 more strikeouts credited to Brinson Rogers. 3 up, 3 down. Maybe not the way you draw it up, but that's the way it played out. No one left on. And at the halfway point here, it's 1-0. Lady Bison's on top.
Running outdoors, you got.
It's your moment. It's your moment.
It's your moment.
Welcome back, and you're looking at Brooklyn Goebel now. Her day so far inside the circle. She's got 5 strikeouts, 51 total pitches today, and as she sits here and gets ready for the middle of this SAU lineup, it's all about those adjustments that she's been able to make as she faces these batters for the second time. And the freshman of the year here in the GAC is hoping that she can continue things. And the trend that she's got things going on right now with a smile on her face, you know she's feeling good out there in the circle.
Well, these two teams, a big part of all that's gone on with the accolades, the postseason accolades this year. I mean, you have the freshman of the year, the transfer newcomer of the year, both from Harding. You have the pitcher of the year from Southern Arkansas, and of course the coach of the year, and Jason Anderson from Southern Arkansas too. So the all GAC individual superlatives, I guess is the best way to say that, for 2025 on full display here in this contest. Adams, Cummings, and Clausen on the way now for Southern Arkansas. Watches that one for a strike. 1-1 out of the count. Kelsey Adams yesterday 2 for 3. 3 runs, 2 RBI, 1 walk. It's a solid afternoon any way around, especially once you get into postseason play.
And she was able to really show off not only the bat, but the speed on the base pass as well, and made really good contact yesterday, trying to see if she can do it again.
On the ground, hard to third base. Boswell over to Neal. That is in time. 1 down here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Brings up the designated player for the Lady Bison, or for the Mule Riders today, excuse me, Haley Cummings. Cummings with a strikeout in the 2nd inning.
She was up, new visor.
That's important.
It is. Again, if something is off on anything you're wearing, it's just going to bother you. You're going to think about it when you really should be thinking about your pitches and your windup. So just throw it out there. Get a new one. It's no big deal.
Enough to focus in, get the strike. I'm guessing that's similar to having like the very, very, very smallest of rocks inside your shoe.
Well, I know that I'm one of those people that if my socks aren't on my foot the right way and I can just feel that seam all day, I'm not thinking about anything else.
Solid hit to center field. Ham steps back and makes the grab. 2 down now here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Ham didn't have too far to go to make that catch.
Shortstop number 9, Savannah Clausen.
Savannah Clausen now batting. 2 years at Southern Arkansas. Coach Anderson has been able to find players that are out there, bring them his direction, and I'm sure with a program like Southern Arkansas as well, 2 down, don't want to get too deep into this, but with a program like Southern Arkansas, you know, it gets the attention of other players too who may be wanting to make a change. Maybe it's not working out there. Maybe you might not feel like your talents are being utilized as well, or it's just like maybe it's time to do something different. And if there's an opportunity, an opening, you see a program like this that has had success,
it's
a good
attractive
place to be. Yeah,
it is. And I think for Coach Anderson, he's built a program that stands on its own. And like you said, if you want to be a part of a winning program, not one better than SAU.
The pop-up fielded by Willis. 1, 2, and 3. Done. The Mule Riders take a seat. Lady Bisons with that 1 run holding up, at least to this point, 4 complete here in Bentonville.
I am inspired to lead.
I'm inspired to research. I'm inspired to care for others.
I'm inspired to shape the future.
I'm inspired to tell compelling stories.
I'm inspired to innovate.
I'm inspired to create.
I'm inspired to serve.
I'm inspired to be a champion.
I'm inspired to change the world.
Absolutely beautiful day here. Great job by the GAC Sports Network crew as always. It's and I don't say this lightly, Alyssa. It is a privilege with every opportunity that I have, and I hope you're enjoying it to get to work with this crew. Fantastic people here in Bentonville for this particular broadcast. My scorecard has BBB, as in Brooklyn Goebel, Bailey Willis, Brooke Johnson. That's who's coming up now for the Bisons, excuse me, in Bentonville.
There you go. A little tongue twister there for
look,
you.
There's the alliteration.
There it is that you were missing so badly yesterday.
Yeah, I want to get.
But you're right. It has been a pleasure to be on this call with you guys this weekend.
Now, finding assonance is a little bit different. Same thing. A little harder.
We'll try for you.
Throwing out those junior high, English terminology. Slap at that one, gets the bat out there, does Goebel just enough to keep it in play down the first base line, and that was an easy play for Huey. Steps over, makes the grab, steps on the base. 3 unassisted and 1 down for Harding. Rogers very nonchalant about that as well. She knew that was an easy play for a first baseman. Bailey Willis now batting and lays down the bunt down the first base line, and that one not quite as routine.
Pumped up there, and again, getting on base is crucial, and for her to run that out, I think it hit her actually.
Watch this here. Huey does a good job to make the grab, the throw over to Owens, and
I think
you're
it
right.
did hit her.
It did
and that's
hit
a
her.
hard angle when you're turning back into the baseline side and trying to get it past the runner there.
So
hard throw.
Brings up Brooke Johnson now with a runner on. And she didn't step outside the baseline. I mean, she was in the path. She did everything she was supposed to do. Just an unfortunate throw there. So Johnson comes up, flew out to center field in her first at bat. That was back in the 3rd inning. This is popped up, and it's not going to be playable beyond the Southern Arkansas dugout on the 3rd base side.
Brinson Rogers has found herself in another spot with a runner on first here, and as you can kind of see, she's not really paying attention to that runner on first base. She's focused with the batter in the box right now. All business is Brinson.
4 hits for the Lady Bisons in this one so far. A hit in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and now the 5th. And another number up there that they can't like too much, at least the Bisons cannot, that 2 errors that have given Southern Arkansas maybe a little bit of a chance, but they haven't been able to find the success in bringing those runners in. Left on base is that stat they're going to be looking at. But Rogers with 4 hits that she's given up today. Did she go across? She did not. That was a little high.
High and inside. I almost thought it might hit her a little bit on the hands.
Full count. Payoff pitch high in the infield. Lear steps in. She'll make the grab. So Willis will remain at first, and that brings us to Macy Ham, representing the 9 spot in the lineup.
Number 28, Macy Ham.
There's that infield. Oh, I was going to say, there's that infield pinched in again.
Yeah.
They know exactly what she's trying to do. Going to try to slap it.
Want to know the count. And that one fouled back, and I'm going to mention a couple things in that too. You have to say there's the scouting again, because they are prepared for that, and also, I mean, it is something for the Lady Bisons who've been consistent to get at least 1 hit in each of the last 4 innings. They're finding something in there that they can connect with.
Yeah, you see them, and that's exactly
that
the
one
risk.
Is foul.
Sometimes that you take. That was a foul ball, but pinched in like that, your reflexes have to be so much more on point. And you can easily poke it past them if this defense isn't careful. And I'm a little intrigued again. Like I said, I understand the thought behind it, but you do have 2 outs. You could also just play your defense normal and just get the routine out. Give yourself a little bit more time if you've got a hard hit ground ball coming at you.
That one taken for a ball, 2-2 the count now. No, I agree with that assessment, because it is 2 outs. You don't have to stress too much. You can find and take whatever's easy. That one finds that gap, and a runner will move over to second in the form of Bailey Willis. Ham takes first with a single. 2 hits now here in the inning, and 2 on 1 in scoring position.
And I say that now, when you look at where Savannah Clausen's going to play now, maybe, now I think it was kind of weird in that no man's land right behind third base. She might have been able to get to it, though, if she were playing where she normally plays. They're played in just a little now with Kaya Lee at the plate.
Kaya Lee, who is 5 for 6 for the tournament overall, shows bunt. It will not remain fair. Definitely from the left-hand side of the plate, wanting to drop it down that third base line.
And Harding knows exactly what they're doing here offensively with this small ball, trying to just, you know, keep Southern Arkansas on their toes right now defensively in the infield.
And another foul. 0-2 now the count with 2 down. See if she's going to show that again. I'm not going to be surprised either way. I know she would need to put that in play. Definitely does not want to to foul off that bunt, but I mean, she's been a confident batter. She could make it happen.
Yeah, I don't think the 2 bunts are going to frustrate her too much. She's still got the ability to get this ball down in a slap style and get down the first baseline.
Tries it again, wants to put it down just down that line, and it still rolls foul. And she gets the go-ahead. The look from Coach Reeves goes, do it again. Keep it up.
Just keep chipping away here. Foul off the ones you don't like.
You know, you wonder if that at some point in time, I mean, we're at pitch number 5 here. All of them have, there's been connection on there. If you just get the nod from a coach to say, just pull that thing into right. just go. Put it over Huey's head and put it into right. First ball in 6 pitches.
We got a lot of space right there in between where Clausen set up and second base to poke it into left center field. Just like that.
Just like that.
It's almost like I knew it was going to happen.
Wow.
And that made me really interested on why Clausen was playing so close to third. I know she was starting to cheat over there just a little bit to try to cover for the lead runner if they do pull in and she bunts, but she left it wide open there for that ball to go straight into the outfield.
So another hit for Kaya Lee, 6 for 7 on the tournament, and the bases are loaded. The last 2 singles coming with 2 down. Zoe Neal coming to bat now for Harding. Neal 0 for 2 on the afternoon so far. Fly out to the left and a fly ball caught by Clausen. So Brinson Rogers in a bit of a conversation now with the infield. Stoddard will come back and set up there, and Rogers needs just 1 out though. That again, it's reminiscent of what you were talking about with Brooklyn Goebel in the previous half inning. Doesn't matter about the base runners. You have 2 outs, just get the 1.
All you need is 1, and I know it feels a little bit more pressure as the bases are loaded, but you just need 1 more out. You've got a really solid defense behind you, playing normal in their natural positions now, not squeezed in like they were the last 2 batters.
Neal watches that one high for a ball. 1-0 the count. Neal the 5'7"
You hear the
junior.
crowd. Might have been Mom. Patient, Zoe, be patient from the stands.
And
they're going to talk a little
it's
bit
more of a conversation. So you bring out the assistant coach, and everyone in the infield comes back. Name cards in place for this convention. 2 down, 1-0 the count. This has all the feel of one of the more important moments of the game.
Well, this is, when you think about momentum, you've got 2 options here. You have Southern Arkansas, who can get this out with bases loaded and shut down this threat. Take that momentum into the dugout. That would be huge for them. If you're Harding, on the other hand, if you could add a couple more runs with 1 big swing, then that just makes you feel really good now that you have a little bit more of a cushion and a lead there with 3 runs or 2 runs as opposed to just 1 run. We might be looking back at this game and say the top of the 5th dictated the way the rest of this game went.
Exactly. That's what this has the feel of. That's an incredible view.
All business-like for Brinson.
1-0 the count now to Neal. She watches that one through. And I guess she took the advice from the stands. She was patient.
And if you watch Brinson, who every time a ball, she asked the ump, was that high? And so she's trying to figure out exactly what kind of zone this umpire likes here.
After that hard swing and the miss there from Neal, 2-1 now the count. Willis is at third, Ham is at second, Lee at first. foul back 2-2 now, the count with 2 down. Huey with a lot of encouragement for Rogers there in the circle. Talking her up. Here's the 2-2. Was fouled back as well. Zoe Neal, the newcomer of the year in the Great American Conference, all GAC first team in 2025. Twice she was the player of the week, mid-February and mid-March. Big at bat here, 2-2, that will go foul.
She just continues to battle, keeps the rest of us over here on our toes. We're just waiting to see how this is going to unfold, and they keep us waiting over here.
It's a game where you think one run could do it, but it's unlikely. Here's the 2-2. Neal fouls that one into the parking lot. Last night we saw a game in 9 innings, but through the first 8 there was no score, so you thought one run might do it. That was not going to be the case. It was actually a 3-2 finish. Here's the 2-2 again. Neal pops that high. That may be playable. It just is not. It's actually fortunate to miss a young man down there too.
Yeah. He didn't seem too scared down there, though, by the dugout.
No. So this at-bat just continues here. Rogers and Neal, pitcher of the year, newcomer of the year. Bases loaded. Here's the 2-2 again. That one will go foul again and just bounce past Coach Reeves.
And these last couple of fouls that she's had, she's taken them down the left field side, which means she's really starting to get her timing with Brenton. She's a little early. She just needs to take a deep breath, get that timing perfect, see if she can rock one here over the third baseman's head. That's what she's aiming for right now, you can tell.
Pitch number 10 on the way. Neal will foul that one as well.
That's 4 that have gone in that direction.
You know, and that's something too, because we know that Rogers has some speed, and the way that she's pulling that ball, she's ahead with her swing. She's not waiting for it to come to her. She's getting ahead. She's seeing what's coming to her, and she's made solid contact. Here's pitch number 11, the 2-2. That one will go foul as well.
If I were Neal, I'd maybe take just a itty bitty step forward to see if now you can forward in that box, see if maybe that just shifts your timing a little bit to where you can get it in fair territory. But that's just me.
We're paying attention. You've been pressuring a couple of times already. That one, she watches through, low and inside. Count goes full with 2 down.
And that was a really good take by Neal. Think as a batter, when you're in that box, you've just swung, 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 swung. It's almost like your body would have naturally swung.
Bases loaded. Big point in the game. The full count, payoff pitch. That will foul back as well. And that was pitch number 13, I believe. Here's the 3-2 again. That one to left field. It's deep. Dylan is there. Dylan will make the catch.
What an at-bat battle, though. Huge for that Southern Arkansas defense to get out, but Neal thought she had a hold of one there for a minute.
3 hits, 3 left on base. No runs score for Harding. Midway through the 5th, Lady Bison still own a 1-run lead.
At East Central University, we educate and empower students to transform the world. We provide an exceptional hands-on learning experience with professors who really go that extra mile. East Central University encourages students to become who they are meant to be while making lasting memories. East Central University, welcome home.
We see you. Your incredible potential and willpower set you apart. You're first to take that leap of faith. First to get to work. First to solve the problem. No burden should be carried alone. We'll be there. Every step, day, challenge. First is your destiny. We get it because first is who we are.
Beautiful day at the ballpark. Bottom of the fifth on the way. Lady Bison's there. You see that 6 in the hit column. 3 of them coming in the top half of the 5th inning there. That last at bat, 14 pitches as Rogers went at it with Neal. Brinson Rogers' pitch count now up to 97 on the afternoon. Meanwhile, Brooklyn Goebel having a solid day as well. She's given up 1 hit. There were 2 errors. One of those errors came the same at bat as the hit, too. That was a throwing error. That has allowed Reagan Dillon to reach second twice. She had the hit, and then she reached on an error in the first inning as the leadoff batter for Southern Arkansas. So that's all that it counts for. Goebel's having a great afternoon. Huey, Owens, and Lear, by the way, as we talked about. The 7, 8, and 9 batters here for Southern Arkansas, getting things going in the bottom of the 5th.
And that just is a testament to Goebel. Holding her own there in the circle. She still seems relaxed, still seems like she's got a lot in the tank here.
Foul back, 2-1 now the count.
I still keep going back, sorry. I still keep going back to the top of this inning, and you mentioned the 6 hits by Harding, but I think Coach Reeves is just looking at the fact that they only still have 1 run, and they didn't get any runs out of that. And so I think she wishes she probably had a little bit more of a cushion here.
That is definitely a stretch of the game that I think both teams will look back on when they look back at this game. Win or lose, no matter what the outcome is, that was a memorable stretch. That was a key stretch. And for Southern Arkansas to come away with still a 0 on the scoreboard there in the 5 frame. Huey with a home run yesterday, by the way. 2 for 3 on the day. 2 runs, 2 RBI, 1 strikeout, 1 walk. She was very active at the plate. Her second year at Southern Arkansas, the Rimrock, Arizona native. Played Phoenix College a couple of years. That one is high. That one is deep. And oh my goodness, it's home run over 2 for the weekend for Jenna Huey.
It's like you just spoke it into existence, and that is why not getting a run at the top of this inning might come back to haunt Harding. What a great at-bat there by Huey. Gets a hold of that one. And just like that, this game is tied 1-1.
Jenna Huey is having herself a GAC tournament. Home runs on Thursday and Friday, and a big-time home run there. And that's right off the bat, too. This comes directly following that top half of the inning. She's the leadoff batter here in the bottom of the 5th, and she made it happen.
Southern Arkansas just trying to steal that momentum back from Harding, because Harding, really since this game has started, has felt pretty good about how they've been playing. They probably would like a few things back. You mentioned those errors and not capitalizing on the hits that they got, but overall playing really good softball. And it feels like Southern Arkansas's maybe trying to pull some of their mojo into their dugout.
Peyton Owens watches that for a ball. She's been patient at the plate here as Goebel has thrown 3 consecutive balls, and now Coach Reeves, Assistant Coach Reeves, will come and check and have a conversation now.
Harding does have someone warming up over there in their bullpen, so just talking to Goebel, telling her it's okay. We've got you. And Coach Reeves also told us before the game that they're going to go with Goebel as long as they can, but they've got horses in the stable that they really like as well. And so if they need to, they're not going to force Goebel out of her comfort zone and make her pitch more than they would like. If they feel like, okay, maybe she's running out of gas, we've got no problem going and getting a fresh arm out of the bullpen.
I don't know if you saw who was warming up over there.
I believe, let me pull out my handy dandy roster here.
By the way, count 3-1, goes 3-2 now with Peyton Owens.
It looks like Riley Price, number
Well,
one, the senior Riley Price.
And Price, an all-GAC second team member this year. Price was a member of the all-tournament team in 2024 and in 2023, so she's no stranger to the GAC tournament or receiving conference recognition. That one just inside, and that's going to put a runner on. Peyton Owens takes first off the walk.
It looks like Brooklyn Goebel frustrated a little bit with that pitch. Body language. Just taking a quick deep breath, trying to collect herself again.
Lear shows bunt, and that one not exactly how she drew it up there.
I don't think that's
up high.
Jason Anderson drew it up either. If you look down at the coach's box there, kind of put his head down for a second there.
Back to the top of the lineup, number 65, Reagan Dillon.
Reagan Dillon, top of the order. We get to see her for the third time here this afternoon. Dillon has been stranded on second in each of her first two at-bats. Reached first by way of an error and was able to move on through to second back in the first. Got a hit in the third and then a throwing error. She advanced to second as well, and that's where she stayed. That one, a ball, 3-0 out of the count. And Sierra, the Southern Arkansas bench is pretty fired up right now, aren't they?
Yeah, after Jenna Huey's home run, they gave her this hat I'm wearing right now. And in football, you might see things like a turnover chain. Well, the Southern Arkansas softball team has a home run hat. So after a player hits a home run, they give them this hat and they party in the dugout. It's a fun time over here with Southern Arkansas.
Absolutely. I'm surprised she let you have it for a little bit, but you're wearing it well, Sierra.
Yeah, I have to give it back real quick because you never know what's going to happen. They're playing pretty hot right now.
I love the feathers. I think that screams party like Sierra was talking about.
Another walk, and Dillon reaches first now. Third time today she's been on base. Gotten there 3 different ways. Runner on second as well as Owens moves over, and Sophia Stoddard, who reached the hit by pitch back in the third inning. 0 for 1 on the day. Runners at first and second with 1 down.
It looks like now, too, when you look still at the bullpen for Harding, Avery Booker, the freshman, warming up now, too.
One fouled back, 0-2 now the count with 1 down. Well, you know, Alyssa, that was something else that Coach Reeves mentioned. She said we have 3. We've had 3 pitchers that we've used consistently this year, and all 3 will be ready.
It's now all about just feeling when the right time to put them in is. You don't want to take Brooklyn out too soon.
0-2, and that looked like it hit her.
It did.
That's what they're going to say.
Somehow. It broke something off her wrist.
It did, and I wondered for a moment if the ump said it may have hit her bat, but she says it hit her. Get a chance to see it again right here.
Yeah, let's see if we can play that maybe one more time. It may be potentially there at the knob of her bat right there. But it's hard to tell if that's the end of the bat or if that's
that
what
guard
flew
on
off her wrist.
Right forearm. It's one or the other there. And they're going to look at it. They're going to bring her back. I think the consensus was it hit her bat.
Coach Anderson still talking to the umpire down on the third base line. Not very happy about it. The umpire's telling him, okay, coach, I hear you, coach. But he's making sure his opinion gets heard there.
That one had as awkward a sound as you're going to hear pop straight back. It sounded like there was a crack in the bat and the ball hit that. Now as it stands 2 down, so Stoddard doesn't take the base and they don't get that runner and don't move everyone across. So now runners remain on first and second with 2 down. America Rubio, who is 0 for 2 on the day, flew out and struck out in the first and third respectively. And that changes the dynamic of this half inning. Now it started off well enough for Southern Arkansas with the solo shot to left center by Huey, but since that time looked like the momentum was shifting, and with Stoddard not taking the base now and then of course popping out on the very next pitch, the Lady Bisons may get out of this inning with Goebel still in the circle.
Yeah, no, and that would be big, because you would love to, if you do replace Goebel, have someone start a clean inning and not try to step in with 2 runners on here. But now you have 2 outs for Southern Arkansas, and that kind of changes exactly how you want to approach these next couple at bats with Rubio and what comes next. I think that's why you got to see a lot of frustration on Coach Anderson's face, because you had 1 out, bases loaded, as opposed to now 2 outs, and America does her job there. That's going to score a run.
And Rubio with the RBI single, fired up at first base, rightfully so. Runners on the corners now as Dillon finally makes her way past second base for the first time today, and Owens is in for the score.
But what I was saying is that's where you just rely on this top of the lineup like Rubio to step up and get a base hit when you need it, as opposed to maybe having a different approach with just 1 out.
Kelsey Adams with a good opportunity here now. 2 down, runners on the corners. And the Mule Riders have taken the lead for the first time this afternoon. It's taken until the 5th inning for Southern Arkansas to get there. The number 12 team in the country and top seed in the tournament now with a lead past the midpoint of this game. That one high, maybe a little inside. Counts at 1-1. Just 3 hits on the board for Southern Arkansas, but 2 runs have come from it. That one is high. It may stay playable. It does, as Johnson steps back to make the grab. So Goebel will last the inning for sure, but the Mule Riders get 2 in the bottom of this 5th frame. They leave 2 on, 2 hits. We'll come back with the 6th GAC semifinal as Huey wears the hats in Bentonville. Great American Conference softball on display today here in Bentonville, you know, as well as tennis in Bentonville, baseball in Enid, track in Shawnee. The GAC is all over the two-state footprint this weekend. Two to one, Southern Arkansas with a one-run advantage in this one. And Rogers.
Looks like something's going on with her wristband there. Switches it off.
Equipment
to get a new
adjustment,
one.
yeah.
Well, we saw Goebel change out her visor. Rogers going to change out her wristband there, get some help from her second baseman.
Let me change my shoes here in just a moment. Just keep the broadcast going. I don't know if I like these as much.
If you're not feeling them, if you're not comfortable, we're standing all day.
That's true. Call somebody in the truck, see if they can
switch
go
shoes
out
with
to
you?
my trailer.
Oh.
And get, yeah.
I thought you were just going to switch shoes with them. Fancy.
That too.
Someone wearing them fancy loafers you got on there in the truck.
Pearson looks at 1-1 now. These two teams both in the regional rankings. Southern Arkansas moved down to 3 in the regional rankings after the last week of the regular season. A couple of losses to Oklahoma Baptist. As Pearson pops that high, won't be playable. Harding is at number 7 in the regional rankings. And for the Lady Bison, 7 is at least in, going in to the postseason following the last regular season game. But I don't think you stay comfortable at that number 7 spot. This one on the turf to short. Clausen, the throw in time.
That was close, but I think they got them there in time. I think if the ball was a little further out, it might have pulled Huey off the base, but it didn't. Great job there by the first baseman to keep that foot on the base and get the out.
Jaden Booth now batting. Booth with a double back in the second, struck out in the fourth. Responsible for the lone run on the board. Actually, she came in for that lone run on the board after the double. Advanced on a pass ball to third, advanced on a pass ball in to home. To the regional ranking point, though, the top 8 teams in the final regional rankings, which we'll find out with for the selection show or by way of the selection show tomorrow or Sunday, is that those 8 teams are the ones who will be in the NCAA tournament. So you get the automatic bid with a tournament win. But if you're high enough in the regional rankings already, you may not need that automatic bid. I don't know if 7's a spot that I would be comfortable with, so thinking Harding definitely wants to go ahead, at least make it into championship Saturday.
I think so too, and again, at the end of the day, you really don't want to leave it up to chance with the committee. Just go ahead and win and keep winning and control your own fate.
Committees are made up of humans, and humans are not perfect. Sometimes things happen, weird things happen.
Brinson getting over that 100 pitch mark on the day, and she still looks like she's got a lot left in her. Of course she does. She's no stranger to complete games this year with 24, I believe. Trying to put this game away for her team.
One down here. No one on. Count is full for Jaden Booth. That one pops back. We'll go beyond where we're standing here.
I was bracing for the bang, I'm not going to lie.
There's 3-2 again. That one a ball, and so Booth will take her base. Jaden has reached base now for the second time this afternoon.
7 in the box, number 5,
Emma Curry, 0 for 2 on the day. Strikeout in the second, strikeout in the fourth.
There's that wristband that Brinson Rogers switched out, and of course technology, such a big part of the game. We've seen it in all sports along the college ranking, but you've got earpieces now where communication is so much easier with your pitcher and your catcher. The infield there, you're able to communicate as you see, kind of can look around. Everyone's looking at their wristband real fast to see what flashes up there. The technology really helping the game. I remember when I was playing, you know, the catcher's communicating to the infield. It was the shortstop who would communicate to the outfield, and it was numbers on our backs. They're not doing the numbers on your backs anymore.
Yeah, one to Curry, a little high, a little outside, 1-1 the count. The wind has picked up here a bit in Bentonville. Nice day though. Check swing.
Don't want to put too much pressure on Emma. I was just saying one swing and she could get her team right back on top here, and
there's one swing, but
goes in the other direction.
Yeah. So for the third time today, Emma Curry takes a seat with a strikeout. She's been the first out, the third out, this time the second out in the inning. That will bring up Brooklyn Goebel. And whether or not that she is going to be in the circle the bottom half of this inning, they're going to use her bat right here. It's high, and it's going to be in right field as Adams steps over to make the grab. 1, 2, 3 with a walk in between. 4 batters, no hits, no runs, 1 left on. Back in a moment at the bottom of the 6th.
What does it mean to be a Ranger? It means smaller class sizes, so you're seen and heard. It means graduating debt-free, like over half of our students. It means getting help when you need it through financial aid and scholarships, like more than 80% of our students. To be a Ranger, you're rowdy with excitement. To be a Ranger, you care about your education. To be a Ranger, you saddle up to a challenge and ride to success. Rowdy lives here. Rangers live here. Northwestern. Success lives here.
SWASU has been saying that the focus is you for 20 years. Now that I'm here, I know my voice matters.
It's a true home away from home where the professors really do put the focus on me and my dreams.
At SWASU, it feels like they are cheering me on with so many ways to get involved, like social clubs,
sports, quality academics, and great people who care about your success. For real, the focus is on you.
Open the door to your future at SWASU. Go Dogs!
You gotta love that. All the gloves over there, the softball right in the middle. It is a wonderful day for softball. This is the place to be on a Friday in Bentonville. Now, I know you would probably tell me there are many places to be in Bentonville on a Friday, but I have to tell you, I like this one. Cummings, Clausen, and Huey on the way.
This is a good option. I'm not saying it's a bad one.
It's at
There's
least,
just
it's
a
at least
lot
on
of
your list of options.
It
right?
is.
Okay.
It is. And it's a beautiful day. We've got a pretty packed stands out here, and then people putting their chairs around the softball complex to watch some really good softball here.
And Cummings watches a strike come across. Cummings 0 for 2 on the day for Southern Arkansas.
Also note Brooklyn Goebel back in the circle, and clearly they had the conversation in the dugout. She feels good enough to come back out here and see if she can continue to try to close this one out, get another inning under her belt for her team without any damage.
High to center field. Ham collects it. And 1 down. I like that. I like that for the freshman. I like what she's done. You know, she's given up just 3 hits. And it's been a pretty effective day. And all things being equal, to give up just 2 runs through 5 innings to a Southern Arkansas team with the bats as this team has this year and perennially has. It's not a bad day. So, you know.
I think she's had a really good day. I mean, outside of the fact that Southern Arkansas now has a 2-1 lead. She struck out 5, only walked 2. And again, I understand one swing, a home run can change some things, and there's really nothing you can do about that. That's where something with a pitcher, you just got to say, okay, you know, you tip your cap to him, say, you got a hold of that one, and then you move on and you keep pitching.
Said she held off on that swing, so 1-1 the count with 1 down. Shows bunt right back to Goebel. The throw in time. Catch made by Neal, and 2 down now here in the bottom of the 6th inning. So pitchers have to be pretty much like defensive backs. You have to have a short memory.
You do, like a goldfish. Thanks for laughing.
Went outside the realm of sports with that one. So,
no, I didn't.
But that's okay. How many
That's Ted
goldfish play
Lasso.
sports where you live? Oh, okay.
Have you watched Ted Lasso? You got to be a goldfish.
Okay, that's right.
Thanks.
I've seen more Ted Lasso clips than the actual show, though.
Oh, you got to watch it, though. It's great. If you need a feel-good show out there, go watch some Ted Lasso.
Huey had a home run in the 5th inning. Opened up the scoring for Southern Arkansas. Her 2nd home run of the weekend. That is actually on my list, by the way. I do want to watch Ted Lasso. Huey 1 for 2 on the day. The strikeout back in the 2nd inning and the home run to get things going. That's the swing of the bat I believe you were referring to just a moment ago that changed things in this game. And following that home run, Southern Arkansas was able to get Owens on base with the ball. She eventually came in. So the 2 runs, both in the 5th inning, and that whole thing is predicated by Jenna Huey getting that home run to left center.
Well, this is where Goebel needs to be a goldfish. Don't think about the last time Huey was in the box there and hit that home run. Just, you got 2 strikes on her right now. See if you can get the 3rd one by her.
Count remains at 2-2 with 2 down. Now, if Goebel's able to get through this bottom half of the 6th inning, that fares well for Harding. Just a bit high, 3-2 the count now with 2 down. Here's the payoff pitch, swing and a miss, and how about that?
There you go. She kind of looked at Huey a little bit as she walked out of that circle, but that is how you end the inning. That is how you bounce back from the inning that you just had in the bottom of the 5th. And now they head to the 7th here with their final opportunity to get things done and try to tie this game or take the lead.
One more chance for Harding.
Everyone tells you to think about the future, but we know there's growth in the journey. At ATU, we value this moment because here, nature becomes your classroom. So breathe it in. You've got this. Right here, right where you are. Focus on the now, because our focus is on your success.
One of the fastest growing universities in the state and the region, Southeastern Oklahoma State University has classes for bachelor's, master's, and certificate programs. Over 45 degree programs are available with in-person, online, and hybrid options. With a legacy of excellence dating back to 1909, our dedicated faculty and staff are here to make your legacy a great one. Your future starts here at Texoma's University.
There's Brinson Rogers. She has to get through one more inning if she can keep Harding at bay for one more inning here. Southern Arkansas will advance to play in the championship. Is the 7, 8, and 9 spots on the lineup, but don't let those spots on the lineup fool you. These are great batters, and we have seen good things from them. Willis, Johnson, and Ham. And Willis and Ham both with a single in their last at-bat. That was back in the 5th inning. The 5th inning was a tough one for Harding. 3 hits and 3 left on base. And right to second. There to make the play is Owens. The throw in time. Wow, she did it from her seat.
She did, and that was really impressive for her to collect that ball so quickly, still focused on getting the out and not mishandling that ball right off the bat there. Still gets the out, and 1 down now for Southern Arkansas.
Brooke Johnson 0 for 2 on the day. That one fouled back, just a tip. Caught the bat.
I think it's really important here, the bottom of the lineup. If you're Brooke Johnson or you're Macy Ham, you can try to get it back to the top of the lineup. Try to get Kaya Lee one more at-bat. See if you can get anything going, but that requires one of these players or both to try to get on base here for Harding.
That's life for your team if you get back to the top of the lineup one more time. No easy task against Brinson Rogers, as has been well documented. Johnson's a senior. She's played all 4 years at Harding. Scored a run yesterday against Southeastern. 1 for 2 on the day. 0 for 2 today. That one's high.
Ahead in the count here, 3-1.
You'd like to see those players who've been a part of the program for so long with the opportunity here late in this one. The 3-1. Johnson fouls that one back 3-2.
Well, you knew Rogers was going to come at you with something, and so you don't want to just sit back and watch strike number 2 come across. Really like the fact that she's aggressive there. At least fouled it off. If she didn't like it, love it, they always say just foul it off, get a new pitch.
Here's the 3-2. Johnson puts that into play. Line to left field. There's a hit.
We haven't said that much this weekend. A hit to left field, but Johnson gets that one in a line drive fashion, bounces right in front of the left fielder out there to get herself on first base. Now here with Ham, and we know, we've seen it all day, they're going to pinch in this infield a little bit for the slappers that are going to be Ham and then back to the top of the lineup if they can get back to Kaya Lee.
And you see Lear crowding that third base line. There's a bit of a gap between Lear and Clausen, but it's in the infield. Lear's not going to let anything get in between her and that base.
Well, remember we talked about with Clausen, she had snuck over a little bit, too much, to where they had a base hit there in that 5th inning. She's not going to try to let that happen twice to her.
No. Fouled that one off over near where Sierra's standing, and Associate Commissioner for Communications Eric Moyer is over there. I think he's attracting that softball. Lee on deck. Ham. Here's the 1-2. That'll bounce right back to Rogers again. By the way, these backstop nets are tight. The 1-2 is a little high. 2-2 the count. Crowd getting into this one. The 2-2 fouls off. Don't forget Oklahoma Baptist and Southern Nazarene in our second semifinal. That's on the way next. There'll be a little bit of a break. On paper, this game scheduled for 4:30. Originally 3:30, then pushed back to 4:30. It is likely it will be a little bit later than that for first pitch. We'll try to give you word when we can. That hit to left field. Reagan Dillon is there to make the grab. And 2 down now for Harding. But the Lady Bisons go back to the top of the order with Kaya Lee. Lee 2 for 3 on the day with 2 singles. 6 for 7 on the weekend. She's been left on base and left on first base back in the 3rd and in the 5th. Watches that one high for a ball. Another senior for this Harding program. All GAC first team this year. Right down the middle, almost in the gap.
Almost,
no,
and
Clausen
again.
is there. Dives for the ball, tags the base. That's out number 3, and the Mule Riders advance to championship Saturday. Coach Anderson's pumped. His team is fired up. What a victory over Harding, the top seed over the 4 seed.
Clausen wasn't going to let it happen to her again. She knew exactly where she wanted to be, got the out, took care of it herself. And SAU, we'll see you tomorrow.
Another highlight reel play, this time from Savannah Clausen. Dives for that one. What an outing from Rogers today. She gave up 7 hits, but just the 1 run. The pitchers in this matchup, Alyssa, Brinson Rogers, again, giving up 7 hits, but gave up only 1 run. And I think it was a great day from Brooklyn Goebel as well. Just 3 hits to the Southern Arkansas team.
I really think so. And for Brooklyn Goebel, it's an opportunity for her to look at her outing here and build on it for the future for Harding next season. For Brooklyn Rogers, she is just continuing this phenomenal run, this phenomenal season we have seen her have all year long. And she's got 1 more here in this GAC softball tournament to try to get the title for her team tomorrow. We'll see who they'll have to face, but I think she's happy with this one, and I think Coach Anderson would be happy too with this performance from his star in Brinson Rogers today.
He looks happy right now. You know, he's we'll see who we get to talk to, who Sierra gets to talk to out there, but he has a smile on his face right now. I mean, he's excited about this win. Sierra, I believe, is going to get to talk to at least 1, maybe 2 people down there right now. Sierra, talk to us.
I've got Brinson Rogers and America Rubio. I mean, Brinson, we'll start with you. Harding got ahead in the top of the 2nd, but how did you maintain that composure in order to put your team in a good position?
Honestly, I mean, it happens. It's the way the game is. It's a game of failure, and, you know, the game doesn't know who's supposed to win. So, I mean, you get complacent, things happen, and you can't allow yourself to get complacent at all.
In America, you had that go-ahead RBI single that put your team ahead. Before you stepped up to the plate, what was going through your mind?
It was just keep it simple, and I prayed really hard, and I was like, God, please stay with me, because I was having a lot of anxiety. But I just asked for peace, and he gave me that, and it's all glory to God.
That is awesome. And now you guys are preparing for another championship game. What does that look like for you tomorrow?
I think we're really excited. I think, honestly, the past 2 games have made us choose to have adversity, which, I mean, we've needed to face. So, yeah, we're excited.
Sure. Yeah, we're excited, and we hope we stay hot.
All right. Well, good luck and congratulations. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Sierra. Congratulations to Brinson, to America, and to the Mule Riders. A 2-1 victory over the Lady Bisons in game number 1. A home run from Jenna Huey, and, of course, the RBI signal from America Rubio. The go-ahead RBI for Southern Arkansas in this one. 2-1 the victory. A big game on the way as well. Harding played strong, but ultimately it was the Mule Riders who ride on. So our next game will be the 2 and 3 seeds, Oklahoma Baptist and Southern Nazarene. First pitch is going to be somewhere around 4:30, 4:35. Stick with us here on the GAC Sports Network as we continue to bring you Semifinal Friday. For Sierra Clark and for Alyssa Orange, I am Joey McWilliams. It's a privilege to get to bring you GAC softball here from Bentonville. One more game on deck. So be back in just a moment.